Hello and welcome to the Autonomous Customer 2021. My name is Nicola Millard, and you may be asking, why are we getting an autonomous customer so soon after the last one? Because our last one we published last year. But boy, what a year it has been. And that's why we are doing an extraordinary edition of the Autonomous Customer. We normally do it every 2 years, but we thought that things maybe had changed during that 1 year. And actually, some things have changed. I mean, obviously, we're working from home, we're video conferencing and talking with our friends, our family, our colleagues. We're having to engage more with digital services because, frankly, you know, the high street is pretty much closed and face-to-face is pretty difficult at the moment. So what has been the effect on people's perceptions on channels and customer experience? Well, the bottom line is there hasn't been a lot of effect. In fact, our expectations of service were high. They are still high. We still want easy experiences. I'd say that the one top liner that we're finding is that convenience is starting to trump price because we just want an easy life. I think also we are finding that digital experiences aren't necessarily working for customers, with a lot of customers saying that some of the basic things like being able to check out or change your mind online aren't necessarily there. And of course, that's where online support really does come in. So we need to make sure that we can help customers when they are having trouble online and digitally. We're also seeing not a huge amount of change in terms of channel choices. We're still seeing the phone and email being rather popular, although we haven't seen large rises as we saw in the previous year's research around usage of the phone. It's gone down a little bit, but phone and email are still two very popular channels. We're still seeing a little bit of growth in chat. Again, there are still quite a lot of issues around the customer experience in chat. And obviously, a lot of chatbots have been deployed in the chat space, often on things like WhatsApp, for example. And again, they're not necessarily helping customers. So again, deploying digital customer experiences, we really need to get them right for customers to create better customer experiences, not worse ones. Video, obviously, we are using video a lot more. Is that translating to wanting to talk to large corporates over video? Well, there seems to be an appetite actually in engaging over video. There are niche areas where we are seeing growth, obviously healthcare being one of them, but you know, everything from demonstrating a product to discussing my financial advice with a financial advisor because I can't do it face to face at the moment. All of those are growth areas for video, but I still have to be convinced that video is going to become a panacea for every query. I would say the more fascinating part of the research was asking agents across the US, the UK and India some of the things that their perceptions, you know, what do they think has changed during the pandemic? Actually, largely from the customer perspective, I think customers agree that contact centres have very much risen to the challenge of the pandemic because they realise that, you know, their operations have been very much disrupted. We've had to lift and shift agents from primarily an office-based working environment to a home-based environment. A lot of agents are indeed working from home. Not all of them, more in the US and the UK than in India. But we are seeing some quite interesting trends, particularly agents saying that during the pandemic, tangibly questions from customers, they're becoming a lot more complex and difficult. They are also saying support from their leadership and management is very important for their own mental health because they're not seeing their colleagues anymore. So that support network is very important. But I would say the biggest thing that they were having a bit of a complaint about was the underlying technology supporting them. Particularly, it has to be said, in the UK. So we need to make sure that we get the technologies right to support these agents in doing a much more difficult job in supporting customers through the pandemic. And then, of course, you know, from a customer perspective, we're still getting things around anxiety about security, but they want easy security. So don't make it more secure and not easy, make it secure and easy. So we're getting a lot of traction in that area. And then finally, I guess the piece I call the Meconomy is evolving a little bit, which is all around how do we use customer data to create better customer experiences, everything from personalization to proactive experiences. I would say, although customers are still very positive about that, I think they're a little bit more anxious around sharing their data. So if they don't want to share their data, proactive won't work. And personalization won't work. So how do we make sure that we convince the customer they're going to get a better customer experience if they do that? So those are the top line findings of the autonomous customer. The research will be available very soon, or indeed, you may be watching this and it might be clickable just over there on the website. So please do look out for it. We're also going to be running a number of webinars and discussions. To be honest, we value your comments as well on the data and like to get a discussion going as to what your experience of the pandemic has been over the past year as well. So thank you for listening. Hopefully talk to you very soon, and goodbye.